Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in Bloomington after a 5-hour trip.
God.
10 hours round trip to Ann Arbor, Michigan for the IU-Michigan basketball game.
Making it clear, he did the round trip, not me. I'm not doing that.
Jackson didn't come, but for the people that are going to see the video that I'm going to post, I haven't posted it yet, but the video of us at the game, we are back from the game. And it's time to talk about all things sports. Most importantly, college football playoff, which is what we've been leading this whole discussion up to. We will also talk college basketball and maybe a little NBA. I did go to the Pacers game Monday, too, so that was a lot of fun.
Tournament.
So we could talk about the Pacers at some point. Please welcome, as always, best in the business, Bruce Jackson.
How's it going, everybody?
So, conference championship week has came and went. We're going to briefly talk about the games and then what the committee decided to do with the 4 teams. Liberty over New Mexico State, 49-35 Conference USA. Good job. Good job, Liberty.
Nice job.
They're undefeated, but they're not complaining about not being in the playoff. Washington took down Oregon again. I really did not think that would happen, but it happened. And they're clearly the better team over Oregon. I give Washington a lot of props. It's hard to beat a good team like that twice. But also, I feel like we should have saw this coming. Typical Oregon losing one game before the playoff. It happens to them all the time. So, Washington coming in rolling. I don't know if you have anything to say about them in particular.
I mean, not really much in particular. I was convinced that Oregon was going to take that they were going to take it. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised to see Michael Penix still lead the team, lead the charge. I mean, they made it kind of look like it was easy, you know? I mean, for the majority of the game, it was relatively close, you know? But, I mean, it just, yeah. Penix has a lot of confidence in there, and it's really cool, really exciting.
Penix probably won the Heisman over Bo Nix with that game.
Oh, I guarantee you he did.
Probably. Even though Jalen Daniels has a lot better stats. Jalen Daniels has like 50 total touchdowns, but no one's ready for that conversation. So everyone knew Washington was in after that win. So then, to start the day, Saturday, Texas came out and absolutely rolled Oklahoma State. Game was not even close. 49-21 the final. Quinn Ewers was just throwing the ball everywhere, and they were running everywhere. A.D. Mitchell, 100 receiving yards. Quinn Ewers, 450 passing. That looked like one of the 4 best teams. Texas, easily, I think.
They dominated that game. It was, I drove back home this weekend just to go watch all the games and everything with my parents and my family and everything. And yeah, I got there a little past when the game started, but basically like when I got there, it was over. You know, it was basically over from the start. I mean, Texas just absolutely steamrolled them. They looked like an absolute dominant force out there. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear from there that it was like, if things go wrong, Texas is definitely in.
Yeah.
If things start to go wrong. So.
Okay. SMU over Tulane. American Conference champions. Good job, SMU.
Nice.
11-2. I don't know what bowl they're going to. We can talk about bowls if we want to. But okay, good job. Good job, SMU. Tulane, couldn't do the back-to-back. And then the 3:30 slot, the most viewed college football game of all time. 22 million live viewers for Alabama and Georgia. And this game lived up to every inch of the hype. But it came out with an Alabama win, which was something that everyone was not necessarily looking forward to, but just kind of expecting that could happen to throw everything out of whack. And Bama, I mean, look, Georgia just fell behind early in that first half.
Yeah.
And then just couldn't come back. There was one step behind them the rest of the game. It was a great game, 27-24. Bama wins it. So now they have the argument that they beat the number 1 team in the country, won the best conference, and beat the best team. And Georgia has that's our first loss in 60 games. So both those teams have like a legitimate argument for the playoff. So basically what it came down to is, okay, by the way, Michigan beat Iowa 26-0. I mean, everyone knew that shit was going to happen. Iowa it was 10-0 at half. Yeah, your typical Iowa football game. I love when they were doing like at the Fan Fest, they were interviewing people what their score prediction was, and everyone was like 47-3 Michigan, 47, and then all the Iowa fans were like 10-7 Iowa,
10-7,
9-6 Iowa. That's what they were all.
At least they're honest, you know.
Like 13-10 Iowa.
At least they're honest.
Okay, so the game everyone had I guess Bama Georgia was a game, but the game everyone really had their eyes on. Florida State, Louisville. Florida State wins, they would have the argument that they were undefeated, but if they lose, it's clear cut. Bama and Texas are getting in. Mm-hmm. Florida State down to their third string quarterback. I'll give you some funny. My buddies wanted to go to a house party. I was just like, all right, fine, we can go. And they had a TV on in the basement with the animated Rudolph movie on because it was technically a Christmas party. Mm-hmm. And I turned it off and turned on the Louisville-Florida State game because no one was watching it. So no one was watching the movie. So me and my buddies turned on this game. Oh, my God, this is the most boring game of football I've ever seen in my life. First of all, I wanted Louisville to win so badly just so we didn't have to have this whole conversation. Also because my dad went to Louisville and go Cards.
Go Cards.
But this was such a disgusting game. Like, okay, Florida State won 16-6. Louisville had every chance to take that game from them. They were dropping interceptions. I think it was 10-6. And Louisville blocked a punt and had it inside Florida State's 10-yard line, and they threw a pick. By far, Louisville's worst offensive performance the whole year. I mean, the lowest they'd scored before that was like, okay, they beat NC State 13-10. But like, oh my God, pitiful performance from Louisville. Florida State wins the ACC. So you knew Michigan was in, you knew Washington was in. And then it came down to
two spots
for 4 teams. I heard a lot of Georgia fans yapping about why they should be in, along with Florida State. The committee ended up going with Michigan, Washington, Texas, Bama, and left out Florida State.
An undefeated ACC champ, Florida State. I was just absolutely befuddled when I saw it. I didn't think the committee was going to do it. So, do you mind if I just go off?
You go.
I mean, so I texted Quincy the morning of the show. And basically, I just sent him my entire essay of my arguments for why Florida State is going to be the team that gets in. Like, I thought my original prediction was going to be, my final prediction, I should say, was Michigan, Washington, FSU, Texas. That was what I thought it was going to come down to. I thought that the committee was going to do the normal committee things where they take the safest option, undefeated ACC team, leave out Bama. I thought, honestly, I would have respected them if they left out Bama. But you're going to argue it's because I don't want to play them. But yeah, ultimately, I thought that's what it was going to be. I mean, the committee was riding with FSU the entire year. They were putting them in the top 4 so many times throughout the year. Going into the final week, they put them in the top 4. Going into the final week. And so I was so convinced. I was like, there's no way that they're going to go against their whole entire belief system. There's no way they're going to go against their entire belief system and what they've said before. Like, oh, yeah, FSU is one of the top 4 teams in the country. Like, undefeated ACC champ. Like, there's no reason not to, you know. And wow, I was wrong. I was absolutely befuddled when I saw it. I didn't think that they would do it. And the entire college football world is pretty pissed. Like, everyone's kind of has the mutual feelings. It seems like everybody has the feeling of FSU got robbed, but it's still going to be a really good game. Michigan, Alabama. It's still going to be a really good game. So I don't know really how to feel about it anymore.
I thought this was funny. I saw a post today. This guy was making 1 million posts about this one college football page I follow was making like 2 posts an hour about Florida State. The last one that he posted, he's like, final post. It showed it showed the committee's criteria from every year. It was like 2014, 2017, 2020, 2023. It was like conference champion, head-to-head if possible, overall record, strength of schedule, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It was the same for all of them.
Except for this year.
2023, and other relevant factors such as loss of key players or coaches that might hinder a team's performance. It was like this whole long thing of requirements.
Yeah.
And, dude, SEC Shorts made another banger video, obviously.
It's really funny.
And they're like, look, we know what we're doing here. We have a sports writer that covered the Baltimore Orioles. We have only 5 SEC athletic directors, and they pinky swore not to let their conflict of interest affect their voting. Like, we all know what you did. We all know what you did. You knew Bama and Texas would be better games, and you left out that team that probably deserved to be in there.
Literally,
We all know what you did.
Literally, I put in those texts, like, there are so many arguments for Florida State and better arguments to leave out Bama, you know? I told you in that text, I was like, if they kick out FSU and put Texas and Bama in, it will purely be because of better ratings.
Yeah.
And they're going to get that this year. They're going to get that.
Here's the thing.
With the possibility of a Texas-Alabama national championship, especially after last year with TCU Georgia, like, that's
They're
why
like,
they did it.
guys, we screwed up putting TCU in there. Like, even though they beat Michigan and deserved to be in the national title. That's what I kept seeing. It was like, this is what happens, and you'd go with deserving over best. And it was like, yeah, but TCU earned that spot in the national title.
TCU undoubtedly earned that spot last
It's
year.
like- and
they
also-
undoubtedly earned to be in the national
Also,
championship.
Georgia probably played their best possible game, and TCU played their worst possible game. Like, that just doesn't happen if that doesn't happen. But here's the thing. I'm ultimately not too mad about the fact that they put Bama in over Florida State. Because they are a better team right now. With Jordan Travis, you can argue this way, that way. They're just not better. Like, they're just not.
You asked me if I had seen Jordan Travis's tweets
Dude,
after the committee chose Alabama. Like, it's heartbreaking stuff.
So for people that
see.
are unaware, Jordan Travis put out a statement and was just like, I wish I got hurt earlier in the year so you guys could see this team is not just one player.
He said, okay, I'll pull it up real quick.
It was so sad to read.
Yeah.
This would have been the perfect year for the 12-team playoff.
Literally, that's what I was saying earlier in the year. I'm like, this would have been a perfect year for it. We would have had at least 8 teams that could have been contenders, for the national title this year, just because of how good a lot of teams were. So this is Jordan Travis's tweet. He says, quote, devastated, heartbroken, in so much disbelief right now. I wish my leg broke earlier in the season so y'all could see this team is much more than the quarterback. I thought results matter. 13-0, and this roster matches up across any team in those top 4 rankings. I'm so sorry. Go Noles.
That's so sad, dude. That's so
Heartbreaking. It's so sad to hear.
Ultimately, though, life's not fair. Sorry, Florida State. Like
the tweet before that is him going in all caps, ACC freaking champions, and then the next tweet is that one.
Yeah,
it's just horrible.
I did see like hypothetical spreads via ESPN Bet. It was like they would have been 2 touchdown dogs against Michigan. They would have been 2 touchdown dogs against Washington. Like, here's the thing. I ultimately, like, at the end of the day, the committee really did get it right. Like, those are the 4 best teams. And here's the thing. What's even worse for Florida State is they're going to go out and get killed by Georgia. They're going to get absolutely mopped by Georgia because Georgia's going to be playing angry. And Florida State, they just don't have their star player. So they're going to get killed by Georgia, and they're going to be like, oh, see, told you they weren't one of the 4 best, which is just unfortunate for them. The system's broken. It just is. But,
Yeah. Everything that the committee is made up of, like, everyone agrees, it's a very flawed system. It's a very flawed system, and it needs to change in order to make things much fairer, for other teams so as to avoid this kind of conflict, to avoid this kind of outcome where you screw over an undefeated team who won their conference championship, you know? Because, I mean, you can argue all day whether, you know, Florida State deserves to be in the top 4 or anything. The fact of the matter is they got screwed. They got screwed. Like, literally, they did everything right. They didn't do anything wrong throughout the year. Literally, the only thing they did wrong, quote unquote, is Jordan Travis getting hurt.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that they can do about that.
And the fact that he got hurt against North Alabama is just even worse. Like, they didn't even need him to play that game. I did see a lot of funny memes about, like, random teams explaining why they should be in the playoff. Like, I saw a video of, like, Arizona State fans. They're like, no, we have a 3-point win over Southern Utah.
A 3-point win.
Like, it was, I thought those were kind of funny. But ultimately, we should talk about some of these bowl games. And I don't think we should pick every bowl game because a lot of them I just don't care enough about.
There's so many bowl games now.
There's like
so
too many.
many
They should make it to where you got to be like 8-4 to make a bowl. Because like a 6-6 MAC team, like what are we doing here? Bowls. Okay, let's just see if there are any good ones. Let's just start with the 2 playoff games. Like let's just get them out of the way. Okay. Alabama at Michigan. Not at Michigan. It's at the Rose Bowl. Here was something that was pretty interesting. So the team that's ranked number 1 gets to pick which of the 2 games that they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're not going to let Alabama play in the Sugar Bowl, which is in Louisiana, which would just be a Bama home game. Michigan, they're not going to let that happen. So they're like, all right, well, we got to take them to the Rose Bowl. Make Bama go all the way across country. So, but Washington was really hoping that they got the Rose Bowl because that's so much closer than all the other ones.
Oh, yeah.
So now Washington is playing Texas in the Sugar Bowl, which is right next to Texas. So that's just a little food for thought there.
It's a little cheap.
So, Michigan versus Bama. Michigan's ranked number 1. They're undefeated. But Bama is hot right now. They are playing some of their best ball. Actually, I don't know if they've been playing some of their best ball. They did have a 3-point win against a Auburn team that got smacked around by New Mexico State.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But rivalry road game, shit happens. That's what I'm going to chalk that up to. There was a video of the Michigan players watching Bama get revealed, and a lot of them were kind of like, we wanted to play the team with an injured quarterback. So here's the thing. Here's all I'm going to say about this, and then I'll let you go. Michigan has been here twice and lost twice. Bama has been here countless times and has won countless times. Mm-hmm. These 2 teams match up, I think, pretty evenly on paper. Bama has been here, done that. They know how to win it. I don't see a Nick Saban-led team losing this game. Bama wins 31-20.
It's going to be an incredible game. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I'm so excited for this game.
My buddy lives in Pasadena, and he said he's going to this game. And I'm like, I'm so jealous right now.
Oh, yeah. Like, this game is going to be so much fun to watch. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I think Michigan has the bigger chip on their shoulder. They have the bigger drive and motivator to win this game. Like you said, Alabama's been here before. They've done it. I guess the one motivator that you could use is like they weren't here last year. They got screwed last year.
Yeah, the
2-loss Alabama team.
The 2-loss Bama team got screwed, which was so stupid. Everyone was saying how they should be in the playoffs when Tennessee had the same record and Tennessee had beat them.
Yeah.
Like, then why aren't we putting Tennessee in the playoff?
Exactly. Like, why aren't we talking more about Tennessee to be put in there? So I'm really excited. I feel like no team is really at an advantage when it comes to this game. You know, both are really talented. Like, as a Michigan fan, to fight for finding weaknesses, watch the Texas game, watch the Auburn game, find the weak points in their game, and then expose those. That's what I told you. I was like, because you texted me, you were like, I know you're scared.
Dude,
I know you're
Michigan
scared to
does
play.
not. They do not want Alabama. They
Nobody wants to play Alabama voluntarily. Okay. I know everyone was making a big joke and a big deal about their reaction, and I thought it was kind of funny and embarrassing at the same time. But,
Also,
who would you rather play? Florida State with an injured Jordan Travis, or would you rather play Alabama?
that's also why
when
they put
just
Bama.
beat number 1.
That's also back to why they put Bama in the playoff in the
Yeah.
first place.
Exactly.
But also, the Bama's reaction when they got in, cool, calm, collected. This is a dangerous team right now. I think Bama's going to beat them. I really think they're going to beat them.
Watch the film. Watch the film from the Auburn game. Study it, and make sure that you know it. Like they're not. I'm not saying they're not good. Obviously, they're very, very, very good. I'm just saying they're not unbeatable. They're not unbeatable.
Here's the thing: keys to the game. I think Bama's secondary matches up undoubtedly way better than Michigan's receiving core. I'm sorry, Bama just has one of the best secondaries in the entire country, if not the best. So Michigan's going to pretty much have to run this ball down Bama's throat. You cannot run a one-dimensional offense against a Nick Saban-led team. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's
can you?
No, I don't think you can. And part of the Quinn Ewers was hitting some deep bombs against them in week 2, but Michigan doesn't have Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell. Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell are 2 top 10 receivers in college football.
I was talking to my brothers about the selection show and everything. This is back when I still thought that FSU was going to get in. I was like, I would so much rather FSU and Washington play each other first, and then we get stuck with the hard team first, like whether it was Texas or Bama. I said I would so much rather play them first, because then you get 3 weeks to prepare. You get 3 weeks to prepare for this game.
That's a good point.
Because if it's the other way, and it's like, let's say it's Michigan, Washington, Texas, FSU, then you have 3 weeks to prepare for FSU and 1 week to prepare for Texas and Washington, like whoever wins that game, I feel so much more comfortable with 1 week of preparation against Washington or FSU than I do with 1 week of preparation against Alabama. So that's why I'm confident right now. We've got 3 weeks to prepare for this game against Alabama. So I think it'll have plenty of time for the guys to rest up, stay in shape, not get in shape, but rest up, stay physical, study the film. I think they can do it.
I think the only time Bama has lost in the first round of the playoff was when they played Ohio State in the first ever playoff.
Lightning strikes twice.
This is matching up very similar to when Bama lost, what happened? Bama lost in one of the years. They lost to Auburn the last week of the season and finished at 11-1, and they put them in at the 4th spot. And they don't deserve it. And they played number 1 Clemson and beat the hell out of them, and then beat Georgia for the national title. So, also, what people are trying to say, well, Ohio State made it in the first ever playoff with their 3rd string quarterback. They also beat Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten title game.
Yeah.
That's not beating Louisville 16-6.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to kind of throw that out there. I hate defending Ohio State, but that is what happened. So, what do you got? Score prediction for this game?
Score prediction, I'm going to go Michigan wins the game. I'm going to go... Let's go 30-28. It's going to be close. 30-28.
Now, game 2 between Texas and Washington. So, by the way,
what was your score?
I said 31-20.
31-20.
Bama. Okay. That's not necessarily, I think they're 11 points worse. I just think that's how the game's going to play out.
Yeah.
So, Michigan, by the way, Michigan is favored by 1.5 as the opening line. Texas is favored by 4 against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They're given a 68% on the FPI. By the way, the FPI for Michigan, Alabama is 55%. Michigan. Texas, Washington. I really don't know about this one. my one concern is Washington's defense. Not even necessarily that it's bad, but like, is it good enough to stand up to A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, and Quinn Ewers? I don't know. And Texas also, their defense is pretty solid. Their last few weeks, points given up 26, 16, 7, 21. Those are like they held BYU to 6. They've had some really impressive defensive showings, particularly against Bama in that week 2 matchup. Part of the reason Texas won that is because Jalen Milroe was not nearly as good of a quarterback as he is now. Jalen Milroe is a lot more proven. So I really don't know about this one. It's going to be a Texas home game. Really,
That's what I'm so upset for Washington over. It's just that, like you said, they could have played in the Rose Bowl when it's a much shorter distance for them, but now they got to go to the Sugar Bowl when it's right there for Texas. So I mean, it's going to be very tough for them making the trip. I mean, I guarantee they'll probably be going down like the day after Christmas.
Yeah,
just to have enough time to get there, prepare, and like get comfortable, so it's not like getting there, a day before the game or something
both these games are on New Year's Day, January 1st.
Yeah, so I guarantee
1-1.
I guarantee you, like the morning of December 26th, or even the evening of December 25th, they're making their way to Texas. So
Or get Santa to drop them off on the sleigh.
Exactly.
I think Texas is going to win. Like, as much as I love Washington, and they're so much like TCU last year, just with that high-powered offense.
Yeah.
I think Texas is going to win. It's not even that I think Texas is so much better. I just see this game coming down to like a back and forth, like 30-34 game. I just see too many positives for Texas, like specific positives for Texas. I think Texas is going to win.
I want to have faith in Washington. Like, Washington is America's team right now. Everyone in the country is cheering for Washington in this playoff. Nobody wants to see Michigan win. Nobody wants to see Texas win. Nobody wants to see Alabama win. Everyone wants to see Washington win.
Yeah, well, I specifically hate all 3 of those teams because, one, Bama is super big rivals with Tennessee. Can't stand Alabama. Michigan, they're just no one likes Michigan. They're rivals with everybody, and specifically because I go to
you were going to say it.
Especially because they cheat, and specifically because I go to a Big Ten school. No one likes Michigan, and Texas, they denied me from their school, so I don't really like them either. So I do hope Washington wins the national title. All 4 of these teams have won a national title before.
Yeah.
I like to root for teams that like haven't won before, but all 4 of these teams have won. So my national title is Bama, Texas.
Okay.
National title is in Houston, so that'll be fun.
It will be.
I think Bama gets revenge on Texas. I think it's going to be like that one year when Bama lost to LSU, and then they played LSU again in the national title and they beat them. That's what I think is going to happen. People aren't ready for Bama to win this national title. They're just not.
You don't think people are ready? Like, I feel like people are expecting Bama to kind of yes, Michigan is favored, but I feel like a lot of people.
The narratives for this
Bama's
year are lining up so similarly to 2017, the year that Bama really shouldn't have made the playoffs. Should have been UCF.
Yeah.
Because not only did UCF go undefeated, they beat the team that Bama lost to, Auburn. So I stand by that. But also, they only played teams like South Florida. But yeah, I just think it lines up way too similarly for things that Bama's done in the past.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win it.
I've got Texas winning the Sugar Bowl.
Michigan.
It would be so cool to see Washington win it. But yeah, I see a Michigan-Texas natty. And
Michigan is walking into the Lone Star State to play the mighty Texas Longhorns.
Yes, they are. And Jim Harbaugh is going to be back.
Oh,
Jim Harbaugh is going to want his revenge on the NCAA. He's going to want his revenge on all the haters.
What revenge on the NCAA? They gave him a slap on the wrist.
Everyone has been hating on Jim Harbaugh ever since he came to Michigan. NCAA especially. You cannot deny that.
Their 3-game regular season suspension for Michigan.
The NCAA has never once liked Jim Harbaugh. He wants out. He's going to be building this team to its highest potential that it can get to. He's going to win the national championship right there in the Lone Star State and then say, sayonara, I'm going to the NFL.
People are ready for him to get mopped by Bama and then leave with his tail between his legs and come coach my Bears. People aren't ready for that.
Now, then you're gonna start liking Jim Harbaugh now that he's with your Bears.
I don't want the Bears to hire Jim Harbaugh. I really don't. Like I mean that when I say it. I don't want them to hire. My uncle
Man knows how to scout.
My uncle went to Western Kentucky.
No comment on it. Okay.
No comment. My uncle went to Western Kentucky, and Jim and John Harbaugh's dad, can't remember his name, he like completely screwed over Western Kentucky's like program. He like ran a terrible team and then like got ran out of town or something. Like from what I've heard, he's like the worst coach ever. And he always like talks bad about Jim and John Harbaugh. I was like, why don't you like him? He's like, because he's a Harbaugh. And then I'll be like, well, what specifically? He's like, well, 1, he's a Harbaugh. 2, he did this. And lastly, he's a Harbaugh. So, yeah, I'm
such rock solid arguments there, you know?
Anyway, we could talk about other bowl games. Guys, Georgia's favored by 14 against Florida State, and that seems like low. I think Georgia's going to beat them badly. I think it's going to be bad.
I don't think it's going to be pretty.
I think it's going to be really bad. Yeah, I mean, if Florida State wins,
that's a huge message they send.
They should claim it. They have to claim a national title.
They have to.
They got to claim. Because technically, the College Football Playoff Committee is one of 3 ranking systems. The coaches poll and AP poll, I guess, hold equal weight when determining a national title member. So, there's that. They're not beating Georgia. They're just not. To the Orange Bowl, it's like pretty equidistant for both teams. Ole Miss, Penn State in the Peach Bowl. This is the, hey, we couldn't beat the big teams in our conference, but didn't lose to anyone else bowl. Because Ole Miss lost to Bama and Georgia, and Penn State lost to Ohio State and Michigan. I like Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss in this game. They run a very high-powered offense. I don't think Penn State's going to really be able to stop it. I just don't think Drew Allen can keep up.
Oh, the last time that I picked Ole Miss, they kind of screwed me over and didn't beat Alabama, so I'd probably have to go with Penn State for that game. But
yeah, we're not keeping track of these picks.
No.
Ohio State and Missouri in the Cotton Bowl. Without Kyle McCord, he's entered the transfer portal. So Kyle McCord entered the transfer portal. So he can't be playing in this game, right? No way he plays in this game.
If he entered the transfer portal, then yeah, I don't think he can play in the game. I don't think he can.
So Missouri's actually on the spread at -1.5 right now. So that's pretty interesting.
Missouri's up?
Missouri's -1.5 right now.
Wow.
Because McCord's not playing.
I don't think. Well, here, let me confirm.
I'm not gonna lie. I bet you whatever freshman Ohio State has right now is better than Kyle McCord. And they're gonna give him like a month to prepare for this game.
With the exit of McCord, the options at quarterback are limited for day. He could conceivably go with redshirt freshman Devin Brown or true freshman Lincoln Kineholtz. So yeah,
I'm willing to bet.
He's got 2 different options that you can go with. So
people
McCord will not be playing.
People aren't ready for this. I bet you either one of those 2 freshmen are better than Kyle McCord. And they could just throw the ball up to Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't really think Missouri is going to be lighting up Ohio State's defense. I think I'm going to have to take Ohio State, even with McCord being out.
I'd probably still take Ohio State in this game.
Missouri is a good team, though. They mopped my Tennessee Vols badly. But Yeah, Missouri. I don't know. Missouri, they're pretty good. Like, yeah, Missouri has actually had a better season than I had originally thought. Yeah, I mean, I still think Ohio State's going to win, but that'll be a good game. Good season for Missouri. No one thought they'd be good. They made a New Year's Six Bowl, so good job to them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. The Sun Bowl is Oregon State, Notre Dame. Also, DJ Ukulele entered the transfer portal for Oregon State.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Dude, transfer portal's out of hand, man.
It is.
It's just out of hand. I think Notre Dame wins because of that. If they had DJ, I would say slam dunk Oregon State wins, but probably not. What else do we have? Arizona, Oklahoma State in the Alamo Bowl. Ooh. I like Arizona, to be completely honest with you. They've had a really good season.
Okay. I mean, not Florida State. Arizona's always been one of the weirdest teams in college football. At one point during the season, they had one win, but they had 4 losses or something?
Something like that. And then they turned around and beat Washington State 44-6.
It's the weirdest thing. It was are they the best 1-4 team in the country? Yes.
I think they're going to care more about the game.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they're going to win. What else do we have? Louisville, USC in the Holiday Bowl. Caleb Williams, of course, didn't expect anything more. Quits on his team, will not play in the bowl game. Just shows you what type of player he is and why no NFL team should draft him, because he is a team cancer that will ruin your locker room environment.
Damn.
I hate it when players quit on their team for bowl games. Like, you're getting paid to play college football. You play the game. Every single one of Caleb Williams' teammates should get a free shot at him. Not kidding. I don't like Caleb Williams. If the Bears draft Caleb Williams, I'm gonna go insane. I swear. I'll become a Colts fan if they draft Caleb Williams. I'm not even
you're
kidding.
already becoming a Pacers fan, man.
I'm not even kidding. I will become a Colts. I cannot stand the idea of them drafting Caleb Williams. I don't think they will. I think they know better. I think they know that they have a top half quarterback with Justin Fields. You heard me. People aren't ready for that conversation.
Wow. A top half quarterback?
I saw a rankings list that had him at 13.
What?
I might be stretching that a little bit because
I think you're very much stretching it.
Stick with Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
Wow.
Stick with Fields, draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. Oklahoma State's gonna destroy Texas A&M in whatever bowl that is. Ooh, Kansas UNLV. Huh. Yeah, none of these are really notable. James Madison Air Force could be a good game.
Could be a pretty good game, yeah.
Probably gonna
Not bad.
Probably gonna take Air Force there just because of James Madison doesn't have their coach. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. No more bowls. Let's talk about IU basketball, because that's gonna be what this show is gonna be next semester. Get ready for it. Get ready for it.
I got to brush up on my IU basketball.
Get ready for season 4, because it's just going to be a lot of IU basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So, the powers that be led me to Ann Arbor, Michigan yesterday.
I still can't believe you fucking did this.
A bunch of my friends wanted to go. My friend paid for a ticket gas. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going. Because one of my friends lives in Michigan. He's like, can you just drop me off there so I don't have to drive home? I'm like, you know what? Sure. So we went to the game, very disappointed with the Chrysler Center crowd. Very disappointed. We got to see the Little House on the Prairie before we got to the Chrysler Center. So we got to see the Little House on the Prairie.
That's the funniest detail that this show will probably ever have. We got to see the Little House on the Prairie, you know. Anyways.
I'm, of course, referring to their football stadium. But anyway.
Oh, my God.
That's what my uncle that hates Jim Harbaugh calls. He calls the big house the Little House on the Prairie. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Wow. The Little House on the Prairie. Never heard that term for it before.
I said we should sneak in. No one else liked that idea. I was half joking, half being serious. I was kidding. I wasn't going to sneak into the big house, despite how cool that would be. But,
Not so little now anymore.
yeah. So we got to the game, and so then there was a game to be had. After 5 hours driving up there was a game to be had. And oh my God, this was such a close game all throughout. Look at the win probability chart. It's just back and forth, back and forth. But the Hoosiers pull it out by 3. First half, they were up like 7, playing really well. And then they just couldn't rebound, couldn't get anything for the last part of the half, let Michigan get right back in the game. And then the second half, it was just trading scores the whole half. CJ Gunn, I've been ragging on him a lot. I've been talking about how bad he is and how he takes stupid shots and how he doesn't play defense. He showed out that game. He played some really good defense, had multiple steals, had 8 points, 8 important points off the bench. Once again, this is IU's second game without Xavier Johnson. They only had 3 guards play at all this game.
Only 3 guards.
Cups, Gunn, Walker. Gunn had 20 minutes. Galloway had 31. Cups had 32. So they're playing hella shorthanded at the guard position. And everyone's like, oh, how are they going to guard Doug McDaniel on Michigan? Doug McDaniel had 13 points on 3 of 14 shooting. That's how they did it. Like, these guys can guard. Pretty much everyone at IU played well except Trey Galloway. Trey Galloway finished with 9 points on 3 of 12 shooting and was 0 of 3 from 3. He airballed a 3. He missed 2 important free throws. He was just having a rough game, really rough game. He made some baskets near the end of the game, but really rough game for Galloway. Cups had 2 points, but, his job's not to score. It's just to...
His job is to basically bring all of the energy into the game that he can defensively and, get a steal, maybe.
Yeah, and,
That's his job.
He'll cycle the ball on offense.
He can pass. He
picked up 2 assists and 2 rebounds, He knows his role.
He will fight for the ball, man.
He knows his role.
I went to the IU Maryland game last Friday. That was that was the first time I had genuinely seen this team play well, consistently throughout the game. Because like you said earlier, the big thing with this team, I feel like, is that they start off pretty good and then they just drop off, or it's the other way around. They start off way cold at the very beginning and then they start heating up, but it's too late by then, It's just such a weird dynamic with this team, and I completely get it. Everyone's new. Well, not everyone's new, but the entire team is, I guess, still trying to figure out their chemistry together, but we're quite a few games into the season already, So, I mean, it's eventually we're going to have to get something rolling. And we're 7-1, So it's a good record, but it's we gotta start figuring stuff out, Trey's really got to get it going.
Yeah. When Trey Galloway gets it going, we're going to be perfectly fine, I think. What was I going to say? Oh, Michigan's 4-5 and you barely beat them. Hard to win Big Ten road games, man. Hard to win Big Ten road games. That's a Michigan team that was playing for their life, desperately needed a win, couldn't get it. IU was better at the end of the game. It was a tie game with a minute to go. Khalil Ware made a sky hook kind of shot. And to go up 2, they fouled Doug McDaniel, and he bricked one of the 2 free throws. And then IU made the one thing I was really harping on them for the free throws. They actually were really good from the line. Hold on, I'm gonna try to go to team stats.
Here, I got it.
All right, I found it. They were 15. Okay, they were 71% for the line, which I mean could be better, but crunch time, they made their free throws when they needed to. So good on them. Also, that was one of the most atrociously reffed games I think I've ever seen in my life.
The IU Maryland game was bad. It was annoying how often they were blowing the whistle, man.
Dude,
those guys, it's bad this year.
IU and Michigan were in the double bonus with 5 minutes to go in the game. I'm like, come on. All of these little ticky-tacky fouls that damn near ruined the game for me. I'm telling you right now, it would have been a miserable drive home. I was like, because people were like looking at us like, did you drive here from Bloomington? And we're like, yeah.
No.
we were like, yeah, we did. They're like, damn, okay. You just not taking finals? I'm like, finals week is next week. But thanks. There wasn't a big student turnout because I think this week is Michigan's finals week.
Is it this week?
I think it is. That's what I heard from someone.
Damn, they get out
One
early.
of my buddy, the guy that we dropped off, two of his friends that go to Michigan came to the game with us.
Really? Okay.
So, but yeah, the student section had their little like cards of like, ooh, Mackenzie Abaco got arrested at a Taco Bell. Like, yeah, not a basketball school. You don't do basketball the right way. Indiana wins. Auburn this Saturday. How are we feeling about Auburn this Saturday?
I don't even know really much about Auburn's basketball team. I mean,
They had a very close loss to Baylor the first game of the year, and then they did lose to Appalachian State, but it was a road game. So
lost to App State. Okay.
the game is in Atlanta,
Okay.
but IU fans travel.
They do. But I
Oh,
mean,
by the way,
I don't know if it's as far as Atlanta. Though.
By the way,
a 7-hour drive.
Eddie's going to be at that game. He's working in Georgia now.
Working in the mines.
Working in the mines. Yeah, apparently he works in Georgia now and not Alabama anymore. But I think he said like a while ago he's going to go to this game. So
Didn't you say he was thinking about going to Auburn then after that year was done?
I think so. I don't know. He told me a while ago that he was going to go to this game. So I'm assuming he's gonna go. So do we got a spread? We got spread? No spread yet. I think he's like IU was 7.5 point dogs against
this
Michigan,
game?
and they won
against Michigan. Okay.
They won 7.5 point dogs. Here's the thing: they have this game, then they play Kansas at home. Kansas is, of course, ranked second in the country. Could be ranked number 1 when we play them. I did not get tickets in the like little ticket lottery. Mm-hmm. I'm scouring ticket apps to try to find tickets to this game. I found some for like 60 that I think I'm gonna pounce on.
You think so?
I think I got to. I think I got to. I would like to make the argument that the 5 of us that went to that game, shout out Dylan, shout out Antonio, shout out Jude, shout out Andrew. I'd be willing to bet that the 5 of us are the 5 biggest Indiana basketball fans on the planet.
I don't know very many people that would go all the way up to Ann Arbor
I
on a
don't think
whim.
people are ready for that conversation. I just don't think they are.
Again, I don't know a lot of people that are willing to drive. Well, how long was the drive? 5 hours?
About, yeah. We had to stop for like gas. It would have been 4, but we did stop to get food and gas.
Yeah, I don't know too many people that are willing to make a 10-hour round trip
On a Tuesday
in the same day and get back here at 4 a.m.
We're sickos. We are.
Did you guys take turns driving?
So I drove all the way up there. And then I got like halfway between Fort Wayne and Indy. And my buddy's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm getting a little tired. He's like, I'm like wide awake. I had like 4 Cokes. Like 4 things of McDonald's Coke. I'm like, get your ass behind the wheel like now. So he drove us from halfway between Fort Wayne and Indy. We stopped at the smallest little Phillips 66 gas station. It looked closed, but in the middle of
it was probably 2 a.m.
It was 2 a.m. in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. So we stopped and we switched, and I got to sleep the rest of the way home. And then he dropped us off in Bloomington at 4 a.m. So, but yes, we did take turns driving. I like driving. I do. Like, I like just kind of sitting back, listening to music, just like driving on the highway. I just do. Also, we went to the Pacers game on Monday because my buddy Tejas is an enormous, diehard Celtics fan. He's like, guys, Tejas didn't come to Michigan, but he's like, we should go to the Michigan, Boston, not Michigan. We should go to the Indy Boston game. So I was like, okay. Oh, it's an in-season tournament game. It's like an actual
first round, quarterfinals.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament bracket game. We were there for history. First ever game. They had rally towels on all of the seats. I've never seen like a regular season NBA game, especially for the Pacers, be that poppin'. It was a playoff game. It was literally a playoff game. We got tickets for like $20. Playoff game.
I still can't believe that.
Playoff game. And it was a tight game all the way through and through. It was tie game 105-105 with a minute to go. Tyrese Halliburton nails an and 1-3. It was crazy. And 1-3. Celtics turn it over. They get another 3. They turn it over. They get a dunk all in like 30 seconds. The place was about to explode. The Bulls suck, and I would like to say right now, I'm switching my NBA fandom from the Bulls to the Pacers. Just because the Pacers are like I really don't care that much about the NBA, but like I feel like I gotta have a team, and the Bulls they suck and they're not fun to root for. So give me the Pacers.
Hell yeah.
My ranking of how much I root for teams is IU basketball number 1. The Bears and Cubs are tied at 2. 3 is the Leafs. And 4, and then it's like everyone else.
And then everyone else.
Those are like my 4 teams: the Bears, Cubs, Pacers, Indiana basketball, and Tennessee football. You get the drift. Like if IU plays Tennessee in football, I will root for IU. But
yeah, Pacers are just to keep going off of that. Pacers are officially Vegas bound now.
I screamed. I was like, "We're going to Vegas!"
My family, that's been our mantra for like the past month. When every single time we watch an in-season tournament, we're just like, Vegas, baby, we're going. And we keep joking that we're going to get plane tickets out there, but I really don't think we are. Tomorrow night, Pacers face off against the Bucks. Bucks are ranked number 1 in the Eastern Conference for the in-season tournament. Pacers are ranked number 2. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., Bucks versus the Pacers in Las Vegas. And then tomorrow, also, 9 p.m., number 1 ranked Lakers in the Western Conference. Don't know how that happened. Versus the number 3 Pelicans. So
interesting. I think the in-season tournament's like a cool idea. I feel like after like 2-3 years, no one's gonna care about it. So I think enjoy this while it lasts. But my friend was like, dude, the Pacers average like the lowest attendance in the NBA. It's like you went to like the perfect game. Like you went to the game.
Oh yeah.
So
this team is really fucking good.
No, they are.
The Pacers are really good this year. I don't even know. Let me see what their average points per game is.
Tyrese Halliburton has to win MVP because the Pacers played the Celtics earlier in the year and lost by like 40, but Halliburton didn't play. And then they beat him when he was there, so.
I'm trying to find it.
My buddy was trying to get me to buy a Halliburton jersey at the game. I didn't, but.
According to this on ESPN, I'm not sure if this is the points per game, but if it is, it's fucking impressive. 128.4 points with all their players. So, I mean, I feel like that's like all of their players like added up and then just like their average games and stuff like that.
Part of the reason I don't really watch the NBA that much is like it kind of gets repetitive. It's kind of just like run down, shoot, run down, shoot, run down, shoot. I'll give you a final stat. So my friend told me this. So the Kings are last in the NBA in points per game at 104. Guess what they'd be ranked in points per game like 15 years ago?
Number 1.
Yeah. They'd be ranked number 1.
Just goes to show how good the game has gotten.
Yeah. So I will always enjoy college basketball a lot more than the NBA, but go Pacers. Hopefully they can
Pacers.
Hopefully they can do something good this year. That'll be it for today. I wanted to talk about like the rest of college basketball, but we're out of time. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have an episode next week. It is finals week. I don't know if you would still want to on Wednesday.
I mean, I'm here until next Thursday, I think, because I've got an exam on Thursday. But other than that, I mean, I'm recording a couple of shows. So if you want to do something next week, we can do something next week. So
my last final is Wednesday at like noon. So we very well could. I'll probably film, then dip back home. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive back down on Saturday with one of my buddies from back home for the Kansas game. So
Forgot that that's after finals, man. It's a day after.
it's the day after finals week, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, let's plan on an episode next Wednesday because I'll be done with all my schoolwork. So, all right, take care, everybody.